in terms of talking about your community, then aside from the memorials, you've mentioned that most people that live there are also Vietnamese. Do you feel that the native-born Vietnamese in that area treat you any differently because you're Vietnamese American?
I mean, I want to say yes, but that might just be a natural language barrier. I don't think it's because I was born here. I think it's just because, I mean, I was raised and schooled in an American public system, so English is my first language. Vietnamese is my second, and a lot of people are really, really taken aback by that. I guess just because the common assumption is because we're Asian, like, whatever language we were, or like whatever ethnicity is ours, like Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, that's our first language. It's not true. A lot of us are actually born here, and again, because I was born here, English is my first language. My Vietnamese isn't as good as my English.
So, identifying personally then, despite everything you've learned about the Vietnamese-American conflict, you personally feel that you identify more as an American than you identify as Vietnamese then?
That's a really hard thing for me to say, but I would have to say yes. I mean, I do have my Vietnamese heritage, but I think at the end of the day I identify more with being American because I was born and raised here. That's just a simple fact of it.
Okay, and whenever the war does come up then, as someone who does believe you were born and raised here, you are American, but at the same time you were raised with this Vietnamese culture and your parents having had, or more your parents' parents having had the experience that they had, do you ever feel any sense of conflict between being American and being Vietnamese whenever anyone brings up the war, or is it something that just doesn't really seem like an issue?
I wouldn't say that it definitely doesn't seem like an issue to me, but I feel that a lot of the times my responses to the topic whenever it would come up can probably be misconstrued as leaning towards that position, only because there definitely is a conflict because, again, I identify more with being American, but I have just the cultural pressure of how everybody in the Vietnamese community that I'm surrounded by is just still very left and bitter by their memories of the war, and if not their memories, then their ancestors' memories. And I feel like I'm obligated to feel the same way. So if the topic ever does come up, I'm just left so conflicted that I'd rather not say anything at all because I can't really pick a side.